Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, prosperity, and happiness. Today, my two very special guests are Shirley and Jennifer. Now, Shirley Vinnock is an honors graduate of HMI's College of Hypnotherapy. She is also the author of Easy Self-Hypnosis, Minding What Really Matters. Shirley is also an instructor at Ventura College. Today, she brought with her today another very special guest. This is her client, Jennifer. And Jennifer is going to be talking to us today about how she used hypnotherapy with Shirley to overcome her fear of flying. Please help me welcome my guests. Now, Jennifer, I'd like to start with you. Tell me a little bit about what it was like when you thought about flying.
It sucked.
I like
was
it.
really afraid. I used to fly when I was 10. We flew one of those little tiny planes over the Grand Canyon with my family, no problem. And then I think when I was 23, I flew to England to live there alone. Met a friend there. And that's when it started. And I don't like it. I hate it. I would rather walk to a location, swim to a location, anything but fly. It's not my favorite.
What did it feel like in your body when you thought about getting on a plane and taking that flight?
Throwing up, tense, terrible, awful, complete anxiety.
With all that anxiety, what inspired you to want to get some help?
I have two kids. I have two daughters, aged 13 and 8, and they want us to go on real vacations, and those usually involve an airplane. And I have been able to avoid flying for a long time. I come up with all kinds of other things to do, and it was time. My girlfriend actually invited me to go with her to a spa weekend that she was treating us to, and I had to fly. And it wasn't a long flight, it was a short one, but it was still a flight. So I figured now is the time. I need to deal with this and move forward.
How did you discover hypnotherapy?
Shirley and I actually know each other from a women's networking group, and I've been listening to her talk about her power forever, and I adore her, and I thought, you know what, I have nothing to lose by trying this. So that's how I found Shirley.
Shirley, tell us about some of your methods to help people overcome fear of flying.
Well, it's interesting that most of us have things that we would rather not do. Being afraid is definitely one of those things. And I incorporated with Jennifer, we used self-hypnosis, a little bit of visualization and imagery so that she could actually first see it and then do it from the time she was packing to actually being on the flight. And also heavy on neurolinguistic programming to shift her perception of how she felt about flying, not just for now, but for the future. I taught her the breath of relaxation, which is a beautiful natural process, as hypnosis is, and sealed it in with an anchor.
Now, with all of these different methods, which one did you find really was the turning point for you?
I think the visualization was terrific. I was teasing with Shirley, and I said if I could get on the pilot's lap and help him or her drive the plane, I would be good to go, because for me it's about control, it's claustrophobia, it's those things. And when we visualized that, that helped. She, instead of, when I was in the plane, I thought I was driving a bus. Really, that's how, so every time the plane would bump and there'd be a little bit of turbulence, no problem. I would close my eyes, I would hold my anchor and think, no big deal, I'm on a bus, this is fine, we're gonna get there. And that really worked for me. It really helped.
I love it, because that sounds like the neurolinguistic programming. Can you take us through that metaphor that you used with Jennifer?
Absolutely. It really started with Jennifer's comfort in a car and relating her feeling the sensation of movement in a car. The car, when you get into it with your luggage, we walked her through the entire process, putting her own special luggage in the car, having plenty of time, all the time that she needed, trusting that she knew exactly what to do. Now, mind you, she had been relaxed before this, so we're walking through this process on a second or third session. Took her through the entire journey. The car, when she got in the car and started to drive, had windows. When she got into the plane, the first thing she noticed are the windows. Similarities to a car. Her mind translated that into a bus, which is fine. anything that works is fine, and each individual client is so unique. So we then went on with the car back. You backed your car out of the driveway, looked both ways safely. The plane backs out of the
I guess it's the gate.
the gate.
Yeah.
Pardon me. The plane backs out of the gate. It starts to taxi down the runway. You feel the momentum for movement, and after all, life is all about movement and enjoying the movement forward. As the plane begins to lift, it's very similar to the acceleration you feel as the car goes up a mountain road, which you love to do. Very relaxing, just constantly reminding her of being relaxed and enjoying the journey. We did actually also put in the metaphor of she walked up into the cockpit and sat in the seat with the pilot, having full control over the plane in her mind, and how enjoyable that was to feel that sense of power, to feel that freedom to soar again and watch the clouds and everything around her in the atmosphere.
Jennifer, Shirley, I love that because, you know, one of the things that I talk about is, well, we can learn a lot from scripts, but we can learn so much more from actually listening to our client and our client's metaphors. When you actually got on the plane, what did you do? Did you use self-hypnosis? Did you use the visualizations?
I did.
Walk us through it.
I absolutely did. I sat down, I closed my eyes, I had my anchor, I had my thumb, and I had my little ring, and I did this, and I did everything that Shirley just said, and it was fine, and I was stunned. I have to tell you, when I got back from my trip, I called you immediately, and I said, oh my goodness, wow, I can't believe that you did this for me, truly, because I was so afraid before this flight. And if I found out I had a flight tomorrow, it would be okay. I wouldn't be, oh yay, I can't wait. However, the horror, you know, the terrible anxiety that I used to experience before, I wouldn't have that anymore. It really was okay.
That sounds amazing. Both of you mentioned twice an anchor. Can you tell us about the anchor, and can you show us what you're wearing?
It was just a ring. I have a thumb ring. And actually it says, I promise to stay positive, appropriate for flying.
And for hypnotherapy?
Right, exactly, good luck charm. And for me, because this is something, obviously your thumb is always with you, this was an important anchor for me because you could hold it. Nobody would see me holding it. They wouldn't know I was using that. I didn't want to embarrass myself. So this worked for me. And having the ring here just felt good. And that's what I do. And now, with other situations of my life, if anything is causing me anxiety, if I'm not wearing my ring, I have my thumb, and I can just do this, and it really calms me down. It sounds simple, but it really works.
So, are you telling me that in other situations where you feel nervous or tense or feel yourself going to fight or flight, you know, the rapid heartbeat,
Right.
or to quote you, wanting to throw up,
Right.
that you use the same techniques that Shirley taught you for fear of flying?
I do. And she taught me breathing techniques as well. And these are things that when you hear about them, they're obvious, but unless someone guides you to that place, you wouldn't necessarily know to do them yourself. So between the anchor and the breathing, it's really helped, not just for fear of flying, but for other things that pop up. It's been terrific.
So I'm going to ask a practical question. Have you been flying since you went on that spa weekend?
I haven't had the opportunity to. I really haven't. I nothing has come up. But you know, my kids are angling to go on a vacation in a few months, and it's possible.
So I'm going to take you through a what if. What if you were going with your husband and with your daughters, and you're using your hypnosis, and then suddenly your daughter says, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." She has to show you something that's very, very important, like she dropped her raisin on the floor. Can you take yourself out of hypnosis and put yourself back in hypnosis using the techniques that Shirley taught you if you get distracted?
Oh, sure. I don't think it'd be a problem. When I was on the flight to go see my friend, you know, I wasn't completely with my eyes closed doing this the whole time. I used it when we took off, and I had it there, but I was able to read a magazine and listen to my music, whatever I did. So I don't know how you did that, how you managed to do that, but I was able to go in and out when I needed to or when I chose to. So I don't think it'd be a problem.
So you are teaching with the hypnosis that you do in your office and with the anchors, but you're also teaching, like in your book, the self-hypnosis. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do. It's a wonderful process, and I found some of the colleges like me to teach it there, Ventura College in particular, and Pierce College too. And people come because they're anxious. They come because they cannot sleep. A father and son come because they want to de-stress and relax. And it's very, very successful using the anchor to connect with the relaxation and teaching them really how to do it themselves. So that if they want to come to me, that's great, but a group can learn to do this just as easily. And the key is the visualization. First you see it, then you do it, the use of the metaphors, and the use of the anchors with the breath of relaxation. It's such a simple, natural process, and it gives people hope that they can get over any of their fears.
Excellent. Well, Jennifer, I hope I see you at the airport. And we'll go on a very exciting trip, and I know you'll be able to fly alone, which I think is amazing, as well as flying with your family. I want to take this time to thank Shirley Vinnock and your wonderful guest, Jennifer, who you were so kind to come on and share this very powerful experience so that other people can get the benefit of learning how to use hypnotherapy, you know, to have a superior quality of life, be able to go forward without that fear and anxiety. And I want to thank the people here in our studio audience and those watching you at home. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have more Hypnosis Today. Thank you. To help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, prosperity, and happiness. Today, my two very special guests are Shirley and Jennifer. Now, Shirley Vinnock is an honors graduate of HMI's College of Hypnotherapy. She is also the author of Easy Self-Hypnosis, Minding What Really Matters. Shirley is also an instructor at Ventura College. Today, she brought with her today another very special guest. This is her client, Jennifer. And Jennifer is going to be talking to us today about how she used hypnotherapy with Shirley to overcome her fear of flying. Please help me welcome my guests. Now, Jennifer, I'd like to start with you. Tell me a little bit about what it was like when you thought about flying.
It sucked.
I
was really afraid. I used to fly when I was 10. We flew one of those little tiny planes over the Grand Canyon with my family, no problem. And then I think when I was 23, I flew to England to live there alone. Met a friend there. And that's when it started. And I don't like it. I hate it. I would rather walk to a location, swim to a location, anything but fly. It's not my favorite.
What did it feel like in your body when you thought about getting on a plane and taking that flight?
Throwing up, tense, terrible, awful, complete anxiety.
With all that anxiety, what inspired you to want to get some help?
I have two kids. I have two daughters, aged 13 and 8, and they want us to go on real vacations, and those usually involve an airplane. And I have been able to avoid flying for a long
Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects